Okay, so I feel that something is very necessary right now. It's 3:45 a.m., somewhere around that time. And the spiritual battle is real because it's taking place in the physical realm. The reason why I feel like this is necessary because I was incarcerated in the back of the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas for protecting myself. And they were trying to paint me out to be a mental patient so that they could get rid of the evidence of what truly took place on the day when I had to protect myself, defend myself. And it really opened my eyes because I was already wondering what was going on with our society. You know, you see a lot of black women running for different offices in our community, but it doesn't really seem like they're bringing about change for the oppressed. They'll go and get your vote, but after that, they're gone. And there are a lot of white women who are constantly behaving very oppressive to the certain particular black women who they feel they can get away with doing it to. And their attitude does not change. Even white women who are at the bottom of the financial system and women who make a lot of money, it's like they have this very demeaning attitude towards black women who they feel do not have the wealth. It's like they feel they don't have to respect you, and that I feel that's deep seated because that means that's just how you feel about black women in the first place. It shouldn't mean that a black woman has to have money or has to be college educated. That's like a slave mentality because there was a time when we were slaves, our people, and the way that a white person would esteem you to be their slave was they will see how well you can work. They will see what kind of education you had. They will see the type of wealth that a black person had. And I believe, antebellum South, you would be called a free nigger versus how they would treat someone who maybe not have been as well as a worker, or may not have been as educated, you know, or in our bodies. One thing else is being judged for our bodies. That's like being stood on an auction block where the whites are putting your body on display to see how much you're worth. And this is something that we are doing in the black community, whether we realize it or not. When you got Nicki Minaj up there and, you know, these women, Beyonce's up there standing up there with your butt and people esteeming you because of your butt and your body, or black men in athletes and athletics standing up on an auction block because you're good at playing basketball, or you know, you can jump 3-4 feet high in the air. You know, we hide behind what we call it, but people are putting a worth or a value on you because of how strong they feel you are, or because of how smart. Like there was something they used to do when we were in school, where they used to do the eye testing, where they would see which black students would come out with the highest IQ. And they would esteem those black students in the school for having the highest IQ. And a lot of times, if you did not have an high IQ, they would demean you. And as far as women in the strip club, these type of things where a woman is considered better than another woman or worth more if her booty sticks out further, you know, or and her stomach is flatter. And this is very wicked because you got people with good hearts. They may not be the best athlete. They may not have the best body. They may not have the highest IQ. They may not be able to work as hard as you can work some of these people like slaves. I'm just being serious. And so, what are we doing with those people in our societies? How are we esteeming those people and then turning around and telling them that they're mental because they see what's going on when you don't meet the mark? Or you got a light-skinned woman like myself who people try to keep in the house like a house nigga. And they try to give me my place in society as a house nigga, as a breeder, and to allow a man to beat me in the house and to get on top of me and ride me whenever he wanted and I didn't want it, and to cause me to have to watch males be with other women and not understand why, because I was just a house nigga to them. So if I ever got married, this is what I was to the man. A house nigga. So that means that he could go out and do whatever he wanted to do out there. And when I didn't understand why you not treating me the same way as you would treat a darker skinned woman or a Hispanic woman or a white woman, I didn't understand the skin tone aspect of what they tried to place me as in society. But the fact that it happened when I protected myself, there were so many black women who came running to try to hurt me. And I don't want to get deep into that because that'll be a long story, but excuse me, because it's cold. What I want to say basically is that it opened my eyes to what was actually going on in our society. And with the politicians, with the black women who are politicians, because how could you let them do that to a African American woman in this country, and none of you have spoken out on my behalf? That's because they pulling the wool over our eyes about what's really going on in our country. And the reason why they put these women in these positions is because they're going to go with the status quo. They're not going to bring about any change. When I was back there and I saw the leaders, abandoning me, that are from the black community, and they were trying to fit the narrative to paint the black woman out to be crazy so that the young white male would not have to own up to the fact that he was abusing a black woman. Because, see, we are evolving. Just because you set a people free, it doesn't mean that they changed. So in the times of slavery, it was okay to have a black woman in your home and, rape her, have sex with her, own her, make her clean and have babies, and hit her and beat on the babies. That was okay in slavery, and we were set free. And we have rights. But our society has not necessarily evolved. Now, he knows that that's wrong, and they know that I have rights, and they know that I'm not a slave. But the mindset is there. Hold on, let me get some tissue. The mindset is still there. Hold on. Basically, like really cold in here. And I had to get the heater or whatever, so I have to get some heat on me. But the mindset is still there, and you know, I don't want to go deep into that because a lot of my brothers and sisters have already covered that on a lot of videos. You can check them out, and they'll talk about, you know, the slave mentality still lingers in our communities and in our country. So, growing up as, you know, an African American woman who is a little lighter skinned, and, you know, the way that people try to block certain avenues from you being able to go, like, no, you can't go that way, no, you can't do that, no, you can't do that, and then the only place you still keep ending up is here in the house. You know, it starts to open your eyes to what's going on, and then people still be wanting to ride on you and have sex and everything, but want to silence you and keep you from being able to live and operate out there. But then the darker girls, they're trying to help them thrive out there, you know, and not understanding the system of the way things have been. Or a girl that's lighter, you know, you see how they treating them, and you know, and then you looking like, what the hell going on? And you know, you see what's going on with the other races, and you like, what's going on? Why are they doing this? And then I see other sisters who I've been in a house with, who was like my complexion, and they had us in the house, and they was doing all kinds of stuff to us, and you know, it's like if you got the money and you got the family who gonna fight, like, no, she can be out there, she can thrive, she ain't finna be no house nigga, you know, and have people blocking avenues in life where you want to be independent and successful. And so when I was back there, it really showed me that they're lying. They are lying, because we do have rights. We do have rights, but people do not want to respect our rights, because there was a time period, and I noticed it was around the time where Barack Obama was elected. Black people were thriving. I myself was in college, and I was doing very well, and black people were doing very well. There were still a lot of struggles at the black community, but there were a lot of people doing a lot better than they are doing now, and some people, and a lot of us have grown and are doing better in different ways, but collectively I saw a lot of growth. And so when I noticed that there was a lot of jealousy, but there was anger, more so anger, in the white community, and some other communities, but mostly in the white community, to see black people thriving like that. And I'm not talking about Barack being elected. I'm actually talking about the people, you know, because his journey is his journey. We also have to separate that sometimes. Yes, he was our president, but where were you in your life? Where were we as a community? And there were a lot of people who were very angry because around the time that Barack Obama was elected, and throughout his I was gonna say his reign, they were angry at blacks for coming as far as we did, and it took a lot out of the black community to have to fight back. You know, and then not seeing some of the plots and things like that they were setting us up for in the future to keep us down. And they created a system to try to re-enslave us. Around these times, they had kind of revved up the engine a little more to bring this to pass. And to drive us into this state. So when there was a very rich man who opened up my eyes, because he has a young African American daughter, and he's very rich, and he already knew about this because he's in a very high part of the society to be able to know about the conversations that's going on, to be able to see it, to know how they treated him as a black man with wealth, to know that it's not about you reaching a certain level of wealth, because when you have that money, you will still see the attitude that these individuals have towards us. It's not about money. And he warned me that they were trying to turn this back into the antebellum times. And I'm going to really look this up to see what I can find out about the antebellum times and what's going on right now. But he was basically letting me know that they wanted to bring black people back to a state where we were poor, where we were living in these little tiny houses all together, where we didn't have our independence anymore, and basically just bringing us down. And then I was able to find out on my own, when I went through what I went through, that they want to re-enslave us. And God let me know that a lot of our brothers and sisters are already enslaved and in bondage to these people by choice, and that they willingly submitted themselves to become slaves again in America to these people, after all that our ancestors did for us. And y'all going and giving yourselves up. Now, it's one thing to be a debt worker, or to work in the wage facility to where we're being paid wages, but it's another thing when you have spiritually sold yourself to this system. And this is what it means to sell your soul to the devil, because God, he already set us free. So why would you, and this is, he said, don't ever allow yourself to be put under the yoke of bondage again. And so many of our brothers and sisters have done this, knowing that they were free, that they were freed, that they want us all to give up our freedom. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And it's spiritual, because you can still operate, we can still operate as a community, but it'll be under a slave, excuse me, because this nostril is stopped up. But it'll be under a new order where we will be enslaved again. And I'm not doing it. Forget it. No, I ain't going to that Willie Lynch stuff to where the dark-skinned girl is this and the lighter-skinned girl is that and the one who went to college is this. No, I'm not doing that. Because we were doing very well as individuals operating in society. Being unified not by the complexion of our skin tones. We are united in Christ. So we're slaves to him, but not to the white man and not to the system. No. If anything, I'm not finna be enslaved. Y'all coming up out of it. Y'all finna come up out that bondage, because I'm not finna be no slave. So you could try to take my house, you could take my baby, you could try to keep me without no money, you could beat me down, you could call me nigga, you could lie on me, you could say whatever you want to say, but I'm free. And then I'm going to read the Bible, 1 Samuel chapter 2. And Hannah prayed and said, my heart exalts in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth derides my enemies, because I rejoice in your salvation. There is none holy like the Lord, for there is none besides you. There is no rock like our God. So this is what's going on with them coming into my home and attacking me because they want me to feel like some house nigga. This is why they snatched my baby away from me, because they trying to treat me like a slave, like you can come and take my babies from me. And then they treating us like the Willie Lynch with the brown paper bag, because my baby can pass a brown paper bag test. They done took my baby. And they are doing the evils of the slavery times, where they did not have any morality as far as a woman and a child, and they are violating our rights to be protected and violating the rights as far as our bodies are concerned. Medical rights, violating medical rights. You're going to keep a woman pregnant, you're going to violate her rights. This is from the slavery times. These are things that they were doing. Another thing is denying her rights, in the country, and then trying to keep an overseer or a master, somebody over her. So this is another thing of why they don't want me to have any independence, you know. And a lot of black women have handlers. They have men who they have in their lives, like I'm not gonna mention the names of any of the females who are big name females, and they're slaves. They're slaves, but they're just they've already sold themselves, and they're just worth more than what some of us would be considered worth. But they want us all, even on the lower end of the financial scheme, they want us to sell ourselves as slaves as well. And even though I've been tried in the fire and I'm going through the fire, I'm not going to give in to that, because we've come a long way. You're going to have to give me my baby. I'm going to have my own place. I'm going to be able to be my own overseer, and Christ Jesus can be the head over me, because it's not finna be you finna have nobody trying to run me, tell me what to do, tell me what to say, tell me how to talk. Everybody think they can ride on top of me. No, I'm not no house nigga. And just because I stay in the house raising my kids don't make me no kept woman, because I had a young black girl call me a kept woman because I was in the house raising my son. That was my baby. I wasn't in there raising the white woman babies. I was in there raising my baby. And wasn't no man up in the house to rule over me, and they didn't like that. See, it's okay as long as some man, some white man, black man, or any man is in there trying to rule over you, and half the time they not even all the way there. But because he's a male and he gonna do whatever they want him to do, and he gonna come at you the way they want him to come at you, because I was highly favored. My house was cleaner than all the women whose house I done been in. My baby was more taken care of than all the babies that I done been around. And I was a very holy woman, keeping my stuff in order. So how you gonna try to get a young white male to come in there straight out of prison and think he gonna rule over me? And how you gonna try to get some black man that can't run his own life to try to rule over me? That's slavery. And God said no. She gonna have her own place. And ain't no man gonna be up in her house. See, this is why God said he is the spirit and he's setting us free, because you're not finna try to think I can't have my own place with my son. Nobody is not finna be ruling over me. And it took for me to go through what I was going through to see what the hell that they trying to do. And this is why they bothering so many of us. They constantly bothering us because they want to enslave us to somebody. And I have had some young white males with lots of money that want to wanted to either marry me or move me in their home so I could have their babies. And it seemed like it would be something that you would want to do, but it's not, because the only reason why he want to marry you is, in his mind, he feel like he gonna be able to rule over you because you black. And the only reason why he wants you up in there having his babies is because he breeding you. He not gonna be faithful to you. He not gonna be faithful to God. You just gonna be sitting around having his babies while he running around doing whatever he want to do. And I'm not doing that again, because I didn't know that's what my baby daddy was trying to do. No, you're not doing that to me. And my baby daddy and I were in love, and they were trying to put his mind to treat me like a slave, because that's what they wanted this country to be like, and they ruined our relationship. And they ruined his life, because he going to jail, but he go just learn a lot of lessons. God said he's going to learn a lot of lessons. I'm just telling you what God said. I'm not condemning his entire life, but God said, yes, this could have got them both killed. And it ain't right what they trying to do to Andrea and her kids. So I'm about to cut this, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to have to deal with this in the next video, because our politicians are allowing them to try to re-enslave African Americans in the United States. And God has shown me that It's so bad that me and my children need to be rescued, because it don't make no sense that we done cried out and told this many individuals what happened and what was going on, and they tried to make excuses for the people that did it to us and that's doing it, and then tried to help them, try to listen to everything that I was saying, and and try to make it seem like I was wrong for what I'm saying. God said, hell no. Ain't no she wrong. God said that America is wrong. And if that mean that it's that many black people that's scared or that got a problem with me saying something about America, I don't give a damn. God said that America is wrong. And he said that we need people, I call all my bloodlines. Because this is what God said when they were trying to murder me in the back of the Montgomery County Jail. God said he called all of my bloodlines and cast the rest of them out the kingdom of heaven. And there was black people too in this country that he was casted out of the kingdom of heaven. And he was calling his bloodline from all over the world. And they was coming. And I was one of them. And I was right here in the United States. And he called the rest of them, whoever was here and whoever all over the world. But he said something. I don't know how many black people in the United States God is going to spare, because he said that that America is wrong, and that it's so serious that my brothers and sisters are not speaking out against this country, and that they trying to speak up for the country and trying to speak up for the comfort that they have in this country, to where as soon as somebody open up their mouth and say something about America, they getting scared, they getting offended, they feel the need to deride you. And God is saying, no, that this is wrong. That you're not gonna demean her and say that she's wrong for speaking out against America, because America is wrong. And I call all my bloodlines. I call all my bloodlines into the situation. That means that you ain't got to be an American. God said that, y'all know what I said. That's what he said. Me and my children. Because if the rest of them want to be treated like that and want to deal like that, then let them. If that's what they want, because I know what's going on in America and it's not right. And if they feel comfortable, staying here, if I have the opportunity to go with my children, I'm going. I mean, I'm grateful for my brothers and sisters that's helping me out right now. I'm just saying, if the opportunity come where it's a good situation, because I'm not just going to be going with anybody, but we need to go. Me and my children need to go, because I done seen it. And they know that I have. And that's enough, because it was not always like this. They did this. And they hid some nets for us. And they done fell into it. And they mad. And they shouldn't have did it. Because we all had rights in this country. And y'all violated my rights. You did what you did. They could have made it right. But they so prideful. These white women and these white men are so prideful, and they done taught all these other people to be so full of so much pride, that they don't want to take me into a courtroom and say, Miss Jones, we are so sorry about what we did to you, Miss Jones. We want to rectify the situation. We want to give you your babies. We want to give you a place. We want to give you some money. We want to give y'all some medical care. We want to give you a car. We want to do whatever we can to try to make up for what we did to you and your kids. They so prideful, because of their skin tone and their bloodline, that they won't do it. They're continuing to be racist and evil and demonic. So it's time to go.